I need more flexibility in my life. I promise you that she has a great story and a great path for you on how you can gain a little bit more flexibility when it comes to a career. And I can tell you, it is incredibly life-changing.
I'm Lisa Harding, ex-EdTech CEO turned certified teacher career coach. It wasn't all that long ago that I was recruiting, interviewing, and hiring teachers for roles in corporate America. Teachers that ended up being some of my all-time best employees. Fast forward through my own career transition, where I left my role as CEO to become a stay-at-home mom, I now work with and empower teachers to transform their lives by turning their once distant career dreams into realities. In this podcast, I give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're a burnt-out teacher or simply need a change and you're looking to create a life you love, you're in the right place, friend. Let's get started.
All right, everyone, let me officially welcome you to From Teacher to Executive Recruiter and Beyond with Ashley. I'm so excited to host Ashley. Quick caveat, Ashley and I actually used to teach together. This is how we know each other. So we taught in the same school, not the same grade. So really excited to catch up with her today and talk about her new life, and knowing where we both came from especially. So Ashley, it is so good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you don't mind, can you just start with a bit of an introduction of who you are, what you taught, and what you're doing now, and how that transition has changed your life?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Ashley Kurek. I am originally from Michigan, but I moved out to Denver, Colorado, which is where I taught kindergarten for 4 years. But I mean, my whole life was teaching. I student taught every single year of high school and beyond, student teaching, all of that. But surprisingly, it was all kindergarten. That was the love of my life. Currently, right now, I'm an admin coordinator 3 at Sierra Nevada Corporation. And my new career has really changed my life. I think for the best. I don't know if I'll ever go back to teaching, but I'm excited to share a little bit more about me.
Lovely. I know Ash and I were really talking about just having like flexibility. So if you're sitting there now, like, I need more flexibility in my life, I promise you that she has a great story and a great path for you on how you can gain a little bit more flexibility when it comes to a career. And I can tell you, it is incredibly life-changing, which I think we all are at the point that we need. Yes, Katie, I'm with you. Cannot wait for flexibility. Full transparency. I'm wearing sweatpants right now. Why? Because I can. Because when I am teaching, I don't have to dress up every single day. It's a really beautiful thing. So they promise there are more flexibilities than just that, but that is a big one for me as someone who really adores sweatpants. All right, Ashley. So I know from our conversation, and also again from knowing each other before, I know how dedicated of a teacher you were. So my first question for you, because I know this is typically top of mind for most people, is did you feel any guilt when you decided to leave teaching?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll admit, I don't think the guilt has ever gone away. I think about the kids in my class probably daily. I think about, should I go back? Did I make the right choice? So I don't think the guilt really does go away, and I do have it. I think really what helps me with my guilt would be thinking about all the things that I appreciate now in my new job. Like you said, flexibility. I have a really flexible schedule, so I can choose my schedule if I want to do 7:30 to 4, if I want to do 9 to 5. I have that flexibility. I can also work more earlier in the week and leave early on Friday because I love my Fridays. I mean, another thing is I'm not tired. I'm not stressed. I don't work on weekends, and we all know we did that all the time. No more work on Sundays. I'm excited about it. But yeah, definitely still guilt. Megan and I were talking that we still show up at the school sometimes and see the kids that we had in our class. And I touch base with my teammates every day still, being like, how's the day? How's it going? So it doesn't go away, but I'm happy. And I'm awake right now. I would be sleeping.
100%. Like that resonates with me, right? Like it is still hard to this day for me thinking about not being with my kids anymore. But what I am able to do, like you said, is live my life to the fullest, which also gives me the flexibility to still go back when I want. And I feel like that for me is still kind of like checking that box of I get to go back, I get to be with the kids. I get to essentially like feel that same love that you felt teaching, but it's very different when it's not your 9 to 5. They're not your responsibility. And that's not what you just have to do every single day. So yes, I do. I also am with you. I feel that guilt too, but I'm also very much reminded by how much better my life is now with the job that I currently have. And I do love that because I have flexibility, I can still choose to go flex those muscles if and when I want to. And some of you may find that you don't want to, and that's totally fine. But just know that in many of these jobs, you are still going to have that time and space. And actually, I think you even told me you're like, I don't even really go take days off anymore because like I don't feel like I need to. Like,
I don't. And the day I did take a day off, I went back to school to say hi to the kids.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
used it as a fun day.
Exactly. It's like it's things that you probably in your brain right now like can't even think about, like having that thought, like counting down the days till breaks were such a big part of like my
Right.
teaching years. And thinking about now that like I don't know when my next vacation is. Like I have some travel coming up, but I'm not taking any time off. And like, but I'm also leaving on a Wednesday and I don't have to take PTO because I have the flexibility to go work from home when I have to travel home since I don't live in the state that I'm from. So totally huge thing. So just know if you have guilt, totally normal. And as Ashley said, like it may not feel better, but what will feel better is everything else in your life. And I think that is what's so important to keep in mind when you are going through this. Now, another big thing that we talk about when it comes to shifting our mindset is the idea of networking. I think all of us in teaching know that, yes, networking is an option, it's available, but it's not really something that you need to be successful in that job. Ashley, can you talk about how networking had an impact on you finding your job as a recruiter?
Yeah, networking is huge. I think the biggest thing you can do is get on LinkedIn if you're not already on there. Start following all the companies that you're curious about, and then look at the job post and see who the hiring manager is. It usually shows it at the bottom. And I mean, add them on LinkedIn too. Send them a message if you're interested. I've even reached out to multiple people at companies before I applied to just be like, hey, I'm just curious about your company. Do you like it? What's your favorite part about it? Working there? Just to see, because working at schools, you don't know what happens on the inside until you get there. So you might as well ask.
Mhm.
So lots of networking and even networking with your friends. I reached out to all my friends that were in teaching. I said, what did you do? Where do you work? Do you like it? And then they can actually refer you to the positions that they have at their company. And it gives you an even better chance of getting those jobs.
Now, Ashley, obviously, as a recruiter, like you were in the field of hiring. Would you say that people having connections and networking is going to be a really big piece of helping them get a job faster?
Oh yeah, it's huge. And I think recruiters can be a good partner too, especially third party recruiters. I think you can't just be like, hey, can you go get me a job? But you can definitely reach out to a recruiter and say, hey, I see that you're working on this job. Do you have any other jobs on your plate that I might be a good fit for? And they want to get the job closed as much as you want a job. So they'll just tell you all the jobs they have that you might be able to apply to.
Love that. So if you are all hearing anything, it's one, LinkedIn, got to be on it, got to have it. And two, network, network, network. I feel like almost every webinar that I'm on, and when I talk to people, when I ask them about networking, every single one of them says that was a huge part of this. So that I know can feel a little bit scary of like going into that field. I know some people are like, oh man, like, is it like a Facebook where you're just like adding someone random? No, not at all. Like that is the point of LinkedIn. Connect with people you don't know, follow them, see what they're doing, interact with their posts. That is what it is meant for. And it is going to help you at the end of the day. And a recruiter is literally telling you that. Like go on LinkedIn, make those connections. And like she said, ask people, what do you like your job? Tell me about it. Like people will be willing to give you information. I think more so than you're probably expecting them to. So if there's anything that you're going to be walking away with tonight, people, it's networking. It's huge. It's important. And I know we're going to definitely be circling back to this theme tonight, just knowing where this conversation is going to be going. So I know that we will be coming back to that.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Teacher Career Transition Academy. Our academy provides expert career coaching, professional resume and cover letter templates, small group coaching sessions, and a supportive peer network. The best way to jumpstart your career change journey is to enroll in my free Beyond the Classroom Masterclass. Visit teachercareertransitionacademy.com/masterclass to enroll now. I'll also drop the link to register for free in the show notes of this episode. This free masterclass is sure to kickstart your journey or give you the boost you need to move the needle if you're already in the career change process. Enroll for free at teachercareertransitionacademy.com/masterclass.
What I would love to focus on though, Ashley, is thinking about how you were able to identify a new career. And I would first like to name for everyone that Ashley, you were a first recruiter, and then from recruiting actually found the job that you're currently in now. So can you first talk about what made you decide to choose recruiting as you were choosing to leave school?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, started looking for a job before the school year ended. So I would say about 3 months before the school year ended, I was having those thoughts of, should I leave? Should I stay? And I said, you know what? Let me just start applying to everything. I literally applied to every single job that was the quick apply button. I applied to all my favorite companies of things I like even Red Bull, the cheese that's in my fridge, literally any company I saw a label on, I applied to it. Um, and then I randomly got a call from the message on LinkedIn from the hiring manager from the recruiting company. It's a third-party recruiting agency, actually out of Michigan, which is where I'm from. And funny enough, they pretty much hire everyone that went to the college I went to, so Michigan State University, go green. And so my lucky day, I was like, perfect. I need a job. I went to that school and please hire me. So the hiring manager slash recruiter gave me a call on the phone. She just sort of asked me, hey, can we chat a little bit about what you're looking for? I'll tell you a little bit more about the role. And so we had a phone call, which then led into a video call with two people that were part of the company. So I got learn a little bit more about the company itself. And then after that interview, there was a final interview with the person who owned the company and the person that would be my boss out here in Denver. And it ended up being a really good fit. I will admit, I probably begged for the job a little much, but they like that because they're salespeople. I was like, please just give me a chance. I'll prove it to you. My dad's in sales. I got it. I can do it. I can talk it all day long. So I got my first recruiting job. Recruiting is a great job. Third party recruiting is a good start. So what third party recruiting is, it is a company that other companies hire to fill their hard to fill positions. So say we can just compare it to like McDonald's. Say McDonald's wanted to hire a recruiting company to hire a cashier. So I would get assigned that job and I would start cold calling a bunch of different people to see if they would be the cashier at McDonald's. And so I would have a ton of different jobs to work on. So I might have a finance person at a bank. I might have a technician on a manufacturing floor. So I had all different types of jobs I worked on. And I would just call people, probably 70 plus calls a day, just calling people, hey, would you be interested in this role? Let me tell you about it. And then as soon as I got someone interested in the job, I would schedule an interview with them, or I would do it right there on the phone and ask them questions about what they're looking for, and just see if it would be a good fit from there. So it was a really good job. It was remote. It was very flexible. I could go home to Michigan whenever I wanted and see my family, but it was a lot of calling. It was calling. But I liked it. I mean, as teachers, I think we all like to talk, and it's a job for the ones who like to talk. So I loved interviewing people. I loved talking to new people on the phone. Someone would be mean to me, and I'm like, I don't care. It's just like a parent that was mean to me in school. I don't.
Day in the life.
Okay. But I could, and it's a really good job because I think as teachers, we're really good at changing how we speak to different types of families and students. So I could speak to the highest person, like a CEO at a company, but I could also talk to a technician on the manufacturing floor with loud machines around them because I knew how to switch and communicate with all different types of people. There would be recruiters at my company that'd be like, oh, I don't want to talk to the technicians. They're mean. And I was like, I can do that. Like, let me talk to them. So I think it is a really good job because we as teachers can talk to anyone. We're great listeners. We know that someone saying something mean to you isn't going to upset you. It's just a great job. It's great. But then, yeah.
Keep going, Ashley. Nope, keep going.
Well, I was going to say after that, I mean, it was a lot of calls. So, I mean, think about it. Do you make 70 plus phone calls a day? Not many people do. So I actually started recruiting a lot of engineers one day, and I said, those aerospace companies that all these engineers are working for sounds pretty good. They have a good 401k, they have 4 weeks of vacation, they have this flexible schedule, 4 10s, only working 4 days a week. I was like, ooh, I want that. That's even better than what I have now. So being the recruiter that I was, I said, well, if all these people are getting recruited and making more money and finding new companies, I want one too. So I started applying to every single aerospace company I could find in Denver. And I was like, any entry level role. And my roommate, her boyfriend, actually ended up working at Sierra Nevada. And so I had him refer me to every entry level position. And I ended up getting an interview for an admin coordinator role, which is, I would say, a teacher's dream job. So admin coordinators are sort of another version of an executive assistant, an admin assistant, an office manager. Those are all really good names for teachers to look for. So I'll repeat that again: admin coordinator, executive assistant, admin assistant, and office manager. So Really, what I do in my new role is it is all in person. So it is a switch from my remote vacation. Um, but I do some things like I plan travel, I do expense reports, I plan events, I order snacks for the office. I train new engineers about how the office works, where they can find supplies, who they can go to for help. I lead tours. I reserve conference rooms and bring them lunch, snacks, donuts. I even get to go to Target in the middle of my day to pick
Literal
up,
ice cream.
right, to pick up things for the office. I'll go to Nothing Bundt Cakes and pick up Bundt Cakes. I go to Krispy Kreme Donuts in the morning, and my driving counts as work, so it's wonderful. And
Great.
it's such a easy job where I can talk to people all day long and walk around and introduce myself to new employees, but I also have time to sit at my desk and do just task work where I can check it off. And who doesn't love to check something off their list?
I'm a huge to-do list girl. And I think also thinking about teaching, like when are you ever given the time to actually sit down and do the job, like plan the job that you actually need to do, right? Like
Hmm.
having time for that is like, it seems silly that it feels like a blessing in a new job, but like that is something that people don't get now. And I think that when I think you think about even the things you said, I'm thinking about my calendar. I block my calendar to be like, here's the 2 hours, no one's allowed to disturb me then. Like I
Right.
have that flexibility to go do that and get my job done.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to pull out of what you just said was I'm hearing that the way that you got the current job that you're in is through ta-da, networking.
Yep.
So you'd like to circle back to that theme. And then so I know you explained what third party recruiting is, but does that mean that there's recruiting that you can do that is not necessarily through a third party that's just looking to fill like positions for other companies?
Yeah. So my company that I work for now has their whole own recruiting department, which most companies do. That is where then you are a recruiter only calling the people that are applying to the jobs at your company and telling them about the role and then setting up an interview with them and the hiring manager. So it is a lot less stressful.
Okay.
It's more laid back. You're more just making sure the whole process is going smooth for someone that is actually interested in the role. While as third party recruiting, you're sort of convincing someone to take a job that they didn't know was there, or they might not be interested in leaving their company anyways.
So would you say that for going, if someone's looking to leave teaching to go into recruiting, is it
Mhm.
easier to get that first job at a company that is doing recruiting just for them? Or would you think it's probably easier to get a third party recruiting job?
Yeah, definitely easier to look for third party recruiting agencies, but I'd say be careful. A lot of those roles are just commission based. You'll have to see, is it a salary role or is it just all commission? Commission's a little bit riskier. I mean, if you're a good salesperson, you can do it. But I like the comfort of having a salary and knowing that I'll get a paycheck every month. But
Yeah.
some recruiting jobs, if you hire someone, you might get like $1,000 for hiring a person. So it's a nice uh, incentive to keep going.
And I think you raise a great point and thinking about how people are looking at careers, it's great also to be thinking about what type of payment you would like, because this is a career very similar to sales that some are going to be a salary base where you are guaranteed a certain amount of money. Yes, maybe you have bonuses, commissions that you can earn based on your performance, but then there's also companies that are strictly just based on your performance. So really be thinking about that if this is a field that you're interested in, of what type of position that you would like. Ashley, would you say that when you're applying, are they pretty clear about that in job descriptions, how they are paying you, or does that come out further along in the interview process?
So certain states will tell you how much the salary is or what you'll get paid. Some states don't have to tell you. So some job descriptions will show the salary, some won't. I'll admit, don't be scared of hourly jobs. My job now is actually hourly, but it's paid just like a salary job. So
Yeah,
I will always get 40 hours a week, no matter what. So it's really like a salary. But
yeah,
don't be scared if it says hourly because it might be a good hourly wage and you might get overtime. So
totally.
it's something to look at too.
And something else, and I was thinking about you identifying a new career that I'm thinking about from your transition from recruiting into your new role is some of the industries that you started thinking about. So how did you decide, like you said, like, ooh, aerospace companies. What was your thought process of, I'm here now and I would like to make a change? How did you decide what industry to start poking into after you knew the career that you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, I really just picked aerospace because that's what I was really recruiting the most for. And I just, everyone loved their companies and I couldn't get them to leave. I was like, please take this job I'm trying to sell you on. And they're like, no, my company's great. My life's great. It's so flexible. I get a lot of money. And I was like, oh, that, I
Jealous.
want that. I was like, can I take the job though? So aerospace, I mean, you think about it. We went to school for teaching and I was like, would I ever be able to work for a company that makes rockets or airplanes? I didn't go to school for that. But then I started learning about spaceships and rockets in my recruiting job, and I was like, ooh, what? I want to work for NASA. I don't care.
I can
And
do anything.
they have so many entry level roles, and they don't care if you're a teacher or not. There's recruiters, there's admins, there's planners, there's purchasing agents, someone that literally just buys things for someone in the company. You just get to buy things all day.
Right.
A little more than that, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fun. There's proposal managers, there's the people in the post office at a company. Like, there's so many jobs that we can do, and just don't be scared to apply to all of them. It doesn't matter, because the worst they'll say is no.
Totally, right? And I feel like this is something even about shifting your mindset that we hear a lot of, that a lot of the times people read a description and be like, yeah, I'm not sure. What's the harm in trying? Again, the worst thing they're going to do is either not say anything or just say no. Like, nothing bad is coming out of that.
Right.
So definitely, people here, if you're listening, please make sure that you are not feeling scared or overwhelmed when you read a description. Just apply, because you literally never know. I can promise you the ones that you're not expecting are usually the ones that come back. Like, the job that I'm in now was totally like pie in the sky. It was like pipe dream job for me. And I applied to it because I was like, how can I not put my name in for that? And then I ended up getting it. I truly did not expect to. So it's really those sneaky ones that are going to get you. So I love that advice, Ashley. Do not be scared, just apply. And I'm telling everyone, like, things will work out as they should. I promise you.
Well, friends, that concludes part 1 of this teacher career transition story. But there's a lot more valuable information coming your way in part 2 that you don't want to miss. So check out our channel for part 2. And remember, friends, the journey is just the beginning. Embrace the adventure.